Google Drive is a cloud storage provider from Google. For regular personal accounts, 15 gigabytes of cloud storage for any type of document is available to us. But for UP accounts, we are offered unlimited storage. For this part of the tutorial, we will look at Google Drive in detail. But before we move on, you may ask, why would I want to use Google Drive in the first place? Well, there are many benefits to storing files in Google Drive. First off, your files will be backed up and you can access those anywhere. Let's say you lose your USB or your computer got damaged. You wouldn't have to worry about losing your files because they will always be stored online. Next, Google is really dependable for quick search. If you need to find a file, but you only have a description of it and not its file name, you'd still be able to locate it using Google's quick search feature, which we will discuss in a while. Lastly, but most definitely not the least, Google's Share and Collaborate feature allows you to work quickly and efficiently with multiple people at the same time. As you can see, there are tons of benefits to using this software. So now, let's navigate through the drive. You can access Google Drive across multiple devices, may it be through your PC, laptop, and phones, may it be powered by Windows or Macintosh, or Android or iOS. It doesn't really matter. You may also access it through the web or by downloading the software or application itself to your devices. To access it through the web, you may type in drive.google.com. You may also click on the waffle menu to go there. In this menu, you may rearrange the applications based on what you use the most to make it more convenient for you. First, let's focus on the user interface. When you first open Google Drive, the first thing that you'll see are files under the Quick Access or Suggested portion. These are the files that have been recently used or are more commonly used among other files. It's the software's way of predicting what you might want to open now so that it'll be easier for you. Later, we'll be discussing how to add priority to other files that you'd want to see first when you open Google Drive. Now, there are two ways to make new files and folders. The first way is to simply click Add New, then you can select what you want to add. So here are your options. We have documents, sheets, slides, folders, or files and folders from your computer. Another way is to simply right-click anywhere on the page and the same options will pop up. You may also add folders inside other folders to further organize your files. If you want to move files, simply drag and drop them. For every file or folder you make, you may put a description on it so that it'll be easier for you to search that file in the future. To do this, simply right-click on the file or folder and then click View Details. And under Details, you'd see Add a Description. You may add anything you want there. Through this feature, you may also track the activity being done on your file or folder. Google also gives you the freedom to change the views of your drive depending on your preference. You may view your files through the grid view, which I am using right now, which is a more visual way of viewing your files, or through the list view like so. Now that we've tackled its user interface, let's move on to some record-keeping features. To automatically back up your files on your computer, you may install the Google Drive software itself. Just search Google Drive for desktop and download it. Once you're done, go to your Downloads folder and locate it. Click the Drive for desktop and then click Open Google Drive. After that, drag the Downloads folder into the Google Drive folder. Then, open Chrome and click the three dots on the top right corner. Then, click Advanced Settings and then go to Downloads. Lastly, click Change in the pop-up and then navigate to the Downloads folder, drag to your Google Drive folder and click Select. Finally, this selection is now your default download location. Now, you may want to sort your files once you have a lot of it already. If you want to see specific files on the top of your page once you open Google Drive or on your Stored section on the left side corner, you may store them by right-clicking the specific file or folder and then select Add to Store. Now, they'll be in your stored list here on the left when you read it quickly. If color coding is something that fits your organizational style, you can color code your Google Drive folders. In your browser, just right-click on the folder whose color you would like to change. Choose Change Color and then select the color from the grid that pops up. As mentioned earlier, Google is really dependable for quick search. Once you have a lot of files in your drive, you can very easily get back to those. To do this, you may use the search field. When you search, you can search for content within files, may it be within documents, PDFs, or even images. Google has the capability to see words within PDFs and images, which most softwares are unable to do. You may also further filter your search results by clicking on the Search Options button. You can set different filters based on the document type, owner, location, date, and others, as you can see here, to specify your search further. Google Drive allows us to directly integrate with other Google applications. It makes it easier for us to take advantage of all the features that Google has to offer. As mentioned earlier, you may directly create other Google applications such as Google Documents, Slides, or Sheets in Google Drive itself. Again, to do this, simply right-click anywhere or click the Add New button on the upper left corner, and you may choose whatever you may like to use. This way, you'll be able to add specific files to your folder or location of choice. Another unique feature of this software is that we are able to edit PDFs using Google Drive and Google Docs. Simply upload the PDF in your drive, open it, and click Open with Google Docs. It will automatically follow the original format of your PDF, but now you can edit it. Take note though that sometimes you may need to recheck and correct the format of your file, especially when it comes to the page setup. Again, another benefit of using Google Drive is its Share and Collaborate feature, which allows you to work quickly and efficiently with multiple people at the same time. As you can see, within the drive, if you select a file or a folder, you'll see additional controls across the top. Let's walk through each one of those. The first one is the Get Link. It allows you to generate a link that you can share with others so that they may also access the file. You can set permissions on the file on who can access it. You may also select if you'd want anyone with the link to be able to access it, or only those part of your institution, or lastly, only specific people by putting their email addresses. If you choose the latter, you may use the Next button. This is where you type in their email addresses. You may again set permissions whether you want others to be able to fully edit the file, only comment or suggest on it, or only view the file. Actually, through these buttons, you can toggle between getting a link and sharing it to specific individuals. You can also click on the settings gear and you can set permissions on the file when you share it. Also, using the list view, once you've shared a file with someone, you can see the shared icon appear next to the title, indicating that it has been shared. Next to the sharing icons, you can also have the option to preview a file. Through this, you'll see some more additional controls. You can comment on it, print it, or download it to your device. Moving along, you can also delete a file if you wanted to. And for the last button, called the Context menu, you'll get some more additional actions that you can take on a file. Here, you can see and choose some options as to where you'd want to open your file. You may also add a shortcut to your file to another location. This way, you'll be able to see your file from multiple locations or folders. Another thing you can do is to move the file itself from one location to another, like so. This is similar to dragging and dropping. The last icon up here is the Details icon, which we've discussed earlier. Moving on to the side panel, you'll see here a Priority tab, where Google sorts your most frequently used files. Next is My Drive, where you'll basically see all of your personal files. Following that is the Shared Drives, where you'll see, as the name suggests, shared drives. These are like shared folders, but it is somehow more organized. To create one yourself, simply right-click anywhere and click New Shared Drive. You can add and manage your members by clicking on this button on the upper right corner. Here is an example of a shared drive that our class created. It basically looks like your own personal drive, but now anyone can access it. This is a very efficient tool to use when working with groups. If you want to make sure that you'll be able to access your files even when you encounter internet connectivity issues, simply right-click on the Google Docs, Sheets, or Slides file that you want to save offline, then turn on Available Offline. To save multiple files offline, press Shift or Command on Mac or Control on Windows while you click Other Files, and then do the same procedure. As previously mentioned, Google Drive also has an application that is available on Android and iOS smartphones. It is free to download on the Google Play Store or App Store, and all functions are pretty much the same with what was previously discussed for the web.